Hey everyone, it's Argonath here. I've just come across a very tragic story. So the details and descriptions in this article are a little bit graphic. So just a warning for any of you that might feel a bit squeamish or might feel very sad about this. Maybe you don't want to watch this video. But for those of you that want to hear the details, maybe not in New Zealand and haven't heard about this, it's very, very tragic. So, the article is a partner bet his son to death. Lisa Rari did nothing. So these human monsters murdered an innocent child. It's just disgusting. Um, so when William James Seo bet his 5-year-old son, 5 years old, to death in emergency housing placement in Rotorua. So basically these people are in emergency housing because of the COVID crisis here. So they've been provided for by the government. The culmination of 7 hours of discipline. Oh my God! He inflicted on the child. His partner Lisa Wariri was in the same room. 7 hours. That's absolutely disgusting. Details of the role Wariri played in Farrah James Seo's death. So that's the little boy, Farrah James. On February the 8th, 2020. So this was February the 8th, 2020. So it's a while ago, but it's just come through the courts and so on. And the abuse she committed can now be revealed after staff obtained the police summary of facts on the case. So basically it's kind of been suppressed until now or something. So the guy who actually committed the murder, William Seo, was sentenced to life imprisonment in July with a minimum period of 17 years after pleading guilty to his son's murder. So if you come from a place like America and so on, where kind of life means life without parole, that doesn't occur in New Zealand. So in New Zealand, if you get life imprisonment, it doesn't mean you get life. There's always a minimum period and you could possibly get out if you behave yourself in jail and put on the act of being a model citizen, model prisoner, I should say, rather than citizen. You can get out early. So basically, this little boy's murder is only worth 17 years. It's disgusting. Life should be life. You should be locked away if you killed a defenceless 5-year-old child. That's disgusting. In the wake of the killing, he told the police he was not the parent of the year. What a complete arsehole. That's just... I'm so angry. Basically, in New Zealand, the only person that's got life and can't get out is the Christchurch mosque terrorist, because he's a danger to the community. Everyone else in New Zealand, no matter what they've done, there's always a possibility of parole, which I do not agree with at all. Let's carry on. The summary reveals not only was Wariri in the same room at the time of the murder, but that she abused the boy too. So she was culpable as well. The defendant Wariri would also hit Farrah James by slapping him on his body. These kind of assaults by both defendants happened frequently when Farrah James was in their care. So basically, the guy who did the murder, what was his name? James Seo, complete monster. William Seo, I should say. He's the father of the 5-year-old, and it's a different mother. So obviously the boy spends time with his father and also spends time with his mother. So what a poor child. His birth mother, I should say. And Rawiri is the, I guess, step mother. She's not actually married to the guy, so it's not really a stepmother, but I don't know what you call it. The summary also revealed that when teachers at Farrah James's kohanga reo, so that's the kindergarten, observed bruising, pinch marks on his ears, arms, back and shoulders, he told them Auntie, his name for Wariri, had done it. Now, I don't know why this has not been picked up earlier, because people in teaching institutions like high schools, primary schools, kindergartens are meant to report things like this. So I have no idea how he was murdered when it should have been investigated by the police. So something definitely should be some form of investigation why that was not done. So if the teachers at his kindergarten had noticed it, then they should have said something. So I don't know what's happened. That seems very, very strange to me. The relationship between Seo and Rari was a de facto partner, so they were living together but not married, and not Farrah James's mother, as described, and it was also described as volatile and violent. So that's the relationship between these two monsters. What a poor, what a cute kid. I feel so sad for this kid. Oh, it's just disgusting. In the 2 weeks leading up to the deceased's death, other residents residing at the Union Street address heard daily fighting and constant arguing between the defendants. The arguing would often go on for hours and throughout the night. Unfortunately, I'm sure that none of those people said anything to the police or anything, because it's not, when you tell on people, it's kind of not the done thing here, and especially if the people you're telling on are not white. Basically, that causes a big stink in New Zealand, and that's pretty bad as well. Other residents described hearing Pharaoh James screaming what sounded like him being assaulted and is crying. Again, nothing was done about this. It's a complete breakdown of the New Zealand system in helping people that are in dangerous situations. Both defendants would be in the room with him, the summary said. On the day that Pharaoh James died, Sia was frustrated by what he believed was his son's bad behaviour, and I'm sure the son didn't do anything bad. It's just this monster's idea of what bad behaviour was. So he began a lengthy period of discipline, in double quotes, air quotes, discipline. This saw him make Pharaoh James stand, face the wall with his hand held in front of him. So stand by the wall, holding his hand in front of him. If the deceased fell towards the wall from exhaustion, placing his hands on the wall, the defendant Sia would hit or kick Pharaoh James. Then the punishment would begin again. You know what some people in history, what other people did things like this? Think back to the 1930s and 40s in a European country. That's the type of people that would do things like this. You gutless arsehole. Jeez, I'm so angry. This took place over 7 hours. During this time, the defendant Rauri was present, so that's the de facto woman. The examination of the room by police in the wake of the murder found multiple palm prints in multiple locations in the bedroom that appeared to be small left and right hand prints side by side, so basically getting him to stand up. So this is this arsehole William Seo. Should be behind bars for the rest of his life and not get out. In fact, you should actually have the death penalty, which I agree with people like you who kill a defenceless person. You should get the death penalty, but unfortunately in New Zealand we're too soft. We do not have the death penalty for monsters like this person. She witnessed the assaults on the deceased but did nothing to stop them, so she was contributed to the little boy's murder. On the day she spent a bunch of lies. I'm not going to read out her lies. You can read them in the article if you want to. Just search up partner beating son to death on the Stuff website and you'll find it. I'm just not going to read out her lies. That's just... So later they took Pharaoh James to Rotorua Hospital, pausing a couple of times. This is after they found he was not breathing and cold to the touch. So that was after. They didn't say, it wasn't straight away when they found him. Actually, Rauri went outside on the doorstep and had a cigarette while the little boy was dead. What a monster. He was unable to be resuscitated and pronounced dead. Rauri later told police she had witnessed Seo discipline Pharaoh James and hit him, but that she did not like what she saw and left, so as not to escalate the situation. Or you didn't call the police to help out or something, right? You could have saved this boy's life. You're a monster as well. You should, well, I don't think you should get the death penalty. You didn't actually commit the murder, but you should be in there for life as well. So Rauri, who pleaded guilty to 2 charges of ill-treating a child and 1 charge of failing to protect a child, will have her sentence date set on Friday. So we don't know what sentence she got. More than likely she'll get a number of years, and then generally with parole it's about half the sentence. You can start to become eligible for parole. So if you get 4 years, you can be out in 2 years, which is just ridiculous as well. So I'm really sorry to hear about this particular story, but this thing goes on a lot in New Zealand, which we don't really hear about, and in most cases it's a particular ethnicity which do this, and you see it happen again and again. It's probably not due down to just ethnicity, but probably to socio-economic issues. So basically people in poverty. So these people are in poverty obviously because they can't afford a place to live. So that's kind of what it's going down. So it's not always ethnicity, but it is a contributing factor as well as poverty. So yeah, there's no life imprisonment in New Zealand. That guy should get it. If we had the death penalty, I'd be going for the death penalty for that guy. I feel so sorry for the little kid and the little kid's mum. But it's happened. We can't change that. Anyway, well, I don't know if you like this video or not, because it's not a very nice subject, but give it a like if you think you agree with what I talked about. And if you like my content, please subscribe, and hopefully not all the content will be as sad as this one. Alright, that's it for this. If you have any comments to make about these two monsters, then feel free to put them in the comments section as well. Alright, hopefully I'll catch you in the next episode. That's it from me. Catch you next time.